Good morning, one and all. Today we will start new chapter, that is a chapter number 6 about troubleshooting. Now, what is a troubleshooting? Troubleshooting means suppose you are having a computer system and it is giving some problems, and we have to solve these problems. That is a troubleshooting. For example, you have started your machine and you cannot read the data from the hard disk, so you are unable to boot from the operating system. Or suppose you want to connect to an internet, but there is a problem with your LAN cable, then it will give a problem error with connecting to an internet. This is second error. Suppose you're connected with your mouse and keyboard, but it is not able to move this mouse pointer, as well as not detecting the mouse. And also for the keyboards, it is not taking the input from the keyboard. So these are some visual problems that you can understand. But along with there are the problems with the motherboard associated. Which are the different components of motherboard? Now the motherboard is having that slot for the RAM, having expansion slot for the PCI and ISA buses, as well as it is having the processor. So if any one of the component get fails, then you cannot understand that where exactly the problem is. So for that we have to troubleshoot our computer. We have to find out where the problem exactly present. So which are the different troubleshooting tools are available? Here we are focusing on the 4 tools. One is a software diagnostic disk, second multimeter, cable tester, and postcard. Among that, the first one, it is about the software diagnostic tool. We will see one by one in detail. Now these tools, these 4 tools has been listed over here. The first one is a software diagnostic tool. Software diagnostic disk. So this is just a program that we have to install, and here it will check for the different parameters. Now this picture is not clear that much, so it will check that whether about keyboards and mouse it is connected properly or not. Actually it is going to check with your BIOS functions also. So the same program is written with this software, that external peripheral device is connected or not. Then about your hard disk performing the same correct function or not. Memory, you are having a RAM, so this memory is working properly or not, if or is there any error. So these are some menus that it will show, one related to the peripheral devices, one processor speed, one related to your hard disk, another it might be related to your SMPS, that is a power supply, and just user has to click that particular menu option, so it will give or it will test that every peripheral related to that menu, and it will give the report. Now this report you can take a printout of the report, as well as you can store that report into your hard disk, and if any problem occurs, then it will visualize that problem properly, and it will give a beep signal that some problem is occurred at that particular peripheral devices. So it is used to test the system memory. Suppose your memory it is of the 4 GB, so total the 4 GB is used properly or not, or it is giving an out of memory problem. Then processor, then your keyboard, display, monitor, and drive speed. So this package include mostly these components. Along with that, it might include the others also. Just we have discussed. So it will show that which are the peripheral devices are defected one, and what we have to replace. Now while replacing, one note is that first of all, replace items one by one. Don't replace everything. There may be the problem at one device, and due to that every other device is getting affected. So it will show that maximum damage to which of that particular device. Identify that when suppose memory is having the major issue, then also you cannot read some data from your hard disk. So don't replace the memory and the hard disk at the same time. Best way is that replace first of all memory, then try install that new memory, and then try to start your machine. If it is working fine, then okay. If it is still not working fine, then replace for the second devices. So that is recommended. So this is about software diagnostic packages or software diagnostic disk. With that, you can identify where the problem is and what to do with that. Second, next we will see that is about the multimeter. Now this picture show it is about the multimeter. It will identify the voltage level present in your computer system. Now normally your voltage level ranges from this is you know that 12 volt plus 5 volt minus 5 volt to minus 12 volt. So these are the normal ranges of your computer system. So it will check whether these ranges are followed by your computer peripherals or not. If it is having some errors, then these signals or that voltage level may vary from this point. So it will check for these voltage levels and where it is used. So it is used for checking whether different components related to this power supply unit is working on properly or not, that is your SMPS is working or not. Even it will check that whether your properly cable and the connectors are connected, ports are connected or not. There is one resistance function. With this resistance function you can identify that these cables are connected and it is working properly. Resistance check, it is also used to check the fuse that is connected to your computer system. If the fuse is good, then it's a meter reader, it is about the 0 ohms. You know that ohm, it is a parameter used for the resistance checking that you have learned in physics. If it is a bad, then meter reads infinite. Also, this resistance function in this multimeter, it is used to check the system speaker. So the components directly related to your power supply, if having some error in this receiving this power and converting into proper voltage, if there is a problem, then this multimeter works. So this resistor function, where it is used to check the cables, connectors, whether it is flowing the data or conducting that data properly or not. System speaker, even for the fuses, this is the resistor function used. And the voltage level it will use for checking the power supply, that is SMPS board is proper way functioning or not. So this is about the multimeter. Then third parameter, the third tool we can say it is about the cable tester. Cable tester, it's a function, it is for the testing the cable, whether it is conducting data, whether it is conducting the power or not. So it is used to identify where the cable is broken and if at what point it is broken. You can see this picture of cable tester. Now this cable tester, it pinpoints the distance from the break in the cable. So it will identify the exactly distance where or exactly the point where the cable has been broken. So what exactly do these devices send a signal along the cable. It's first of all we have to connect this cable and then it will send a signal. After sending the signal, it will wait for them to be reflected. It will send a signal and it is wait that where exactly it get reflected. And it will identify the time of the sending signal and receiving it back. So it will convert into a distance measurement. So it will use a formula that first of all it will send a signal. It will wait that from which point it is getting reflected and this time it will notify the time of sending signal and receiving signal and that will be converted into distance. So these actually you have learned in the physics that how to calculate distance, resistance, this voltage. So right now you are having the resistance level, you know the voltage, and according to that you can identify the current flow and you can even recognize the distance. Then fourth one component, it is about the postcards. It is just like you can say a BIOS diagnostic package. So this is used to identify whether the system is appear to be dead, and normally that if the system is cannot read from the floppy drive and from the hard drive, then in that case this cards are used. These cards are just like a expansion slots. They are using the expansion slots, and that will be fixed into your motherboard. Let's see picture. See, this is just like you can see your LAN card, that is an Ethernet card, or you can see it is just like your sound card, VGA cards. So same way you have to fix it, and it will test these problems, why it is not able to read from the memory or read from the hard drive, where exactly the problem is, and it will give some signals, bips, messages that error has been occurred. So it is giving bip code uh, through this card, through this postcard. So this postcard, it gives two types of errors. One is a fatal and non-fatal. If it is a fatal error, then it stops the system. So, and if it is a non-fatal error, then it will just identify that error. It will note that error, and again it will try to continue to find out any another error it is present into your system. So this is about the postcard, and some tools that we have studied. So these four tools, just sample tools that we have taken. So along with that, there are so many hardware tools are available, and these are some of the famous tools. Mostly multimeter, you know, in our lab also multimeter is used. Cable tester is also available, and postcard that we have to purchase it. Software diagnostic tool that you can search on the net, that there are different diagnostic tools are available, which one is having the higher ratings that we can use, and we can install it, and we can check where exactly the problem is. So that is about the troubleshooting. So what is the troubleshooting means that your computer component, one of the component is not working properly, and that's why your system, you cannot do any function with your system. In that case, we have to find out the problem and we have to solve that problem. So finding out the problem and solving that problem of your computer devices, it is called as a troubleshooting. And these are some troubleshooting tools. In next video, we are going to learn how to isolate these problems, and how to troubleshoot your power supply, how to troubleshoot your hard disk, operating system, RAM, memory, some devices of your computer. So right now we will stop here, and thank you.